If you want to build and deploy enterprise AI solutions to your employees, then the Ask Steve platform can help. And it's built on these 4 key principles. 1, it works where your employees already are, so it's available to them in the flow of work. 2nd, it can see what they're working on, so there's no more copying and pasting back and forth. 3rd, it enables one-click solutions, so no more messing around with chatbots and prompting. And finally, it's enterprise ready, ready for deployment on day 1. So let's take a quick look and see what it looks like. When your employees install Ask Steve, they'll get the Ask Steve tab in the bottom right corner of the screen and the number of what we call floating skill buttons. And each one of these runs what's called a skill. And a skill is either an LLM prompt macro, which is a prompt that you can write once and use multiple times and that can take variables, or it's a call to an external API, and that API can do anything that code can do. So it can interact with external or internal systems, it can run arbitrary logic, anything that you can imagine code can do, you can now trigger via Ask Steve. So we can see now, I just pressed the summarize this button and I got my 5 bullet point summary of the page that I was on. So those first 3 core principles already we've seen in action. It works where I am, it can see what I'm working on, and it gave me one-click access to summarization on this web page. Now let's take a look and see how this particular skill behind this button was built. So I'm going to open the Ask Steve side panel, go to the skills tab, and I can see the definition of this particular skill. Here's some text I'm going to need some help with, and then the double brackets indicates a variable. And so in this case, if there's selected text on the page, it will use that. Otherwise, it will use the entire contents of the page, which is what just happened, and it will throw it in there. And there's instructions for the kind of summary I want. Now, these are really easy to edit. They are just text. So if instead of 5 bullets, I want 3 bullets, I can change it and run it. And now I'm going to get my 3 bullet answer. If I always want my results in Spanish, I can put that in there as well. And so it's very quick and easy now to iterate on my skills, get them to the point that I like them, hit update, and then deploy them to my company. Now you'll notice here that I've got 14 skills, but I only have 4 buttons here. And that's because I can decide which skills I want to have buttons added for. So you'll notice that some of these don't and some of them do. The other thing I can do is I can specify certain sites that buttons should appear on. So you'll notice that I have these 4 buttons appearing on all sites, but if I go to somebody's LinkedIn profile, I have these 2 additional buttons here, and these are sales related buttons. One qualifies a sales lead and the other one writes a sales outreach message. And we can see here that they are specified to only show on LinkedIn profile pages. And if I press one of these buttons, like the write a sales outreach message, it will take the entire contents of the page, throw it into that prompt, and write me a personalized sales outreach message to this person that mentions our shared contacts, knows where this person worked, etc. And then I can customize that and use it. So we've seen now that I can have these floating skill buttons that can appear on every page, that can appear on specific pages, and that can call LLMs, but they can also, as I mentioned, call APIs. And so one example of that might be this one, which is searching a company database. You can imagine that if you built an internal corporate search or a retrieval augmented generation or RAG system, that having it be in a separate web page or a place people need to go, they're not going to use it as much as if you gave them one-click access to it everywhere. Another example I'm going to show you is logging things into Salesforce and interacting with other external systems. And so in this case, this is my leads page on Salesforce. We can see now, I'm going to refresh it. I have no leads. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pick this person and I'm going to click on the add lead to Salesforce button. So what this is doing is not calling an LLM, it's calling an API. And that backend API is taking the data I sent and taking the unstructured data, turning it into structured data by calling an AI to do so. And then after that, the AI is sending it onto Salesforce to write in as a new record, which we can see here if I refresh, and then it's pulling the company name and hitting 2 other enterprise systems, in this case, my marketing CRM to see who else from that company I'm talking to, and my open order tracker as well to see what orders that company has. So you can see now how with one click, I was able to take some data from the web page I was looking at and interact with an LLM and 3 separate enterprise AI systems and have all that data come back to me in a single pane of glass without me ever leaving the page that I was on. So once you connect Ask Steve to an API, then you all of a sudden have unlocked access to a whole world of capabilities. So in closing, when we talked about enterprise ready, we want to make sure that this stuff is all secure and very private. So the way the system is architected is your computer, your employee's computer, is running the Ask Steve browser extension, and that talks directly to whatever large language model you specify or API, and that can be in a public cloud, private cloud, or on-premise, or even on the end user's computer. And so there is no Ask Steve server in the mix. So all your data stays completely private and secure, and it can be customized and branded for your needs. So if you have any questions or would like to learn more or would like to get a demo, please contact us at sales@asksteve.to. And you can also download and try out the extension for free from the website. Thanks, and we're looking forward to hearing from you.